If steak's your favorite meal and you ate steak every day, would it still be your favorite meal? Boundaries, it gives you the ability to be so strong in yourself, but also in your identity, in your authenticity, and no one can shake that and no one can take that from you. Hi divas, it's your girl Emmy here and welcome back to my channel. Before I go any further, you know what to do. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because it really helps me out a lot. And let's get into this video. Tapping into your divine feminine energy, it's all about growing in your self-love and your self-care. When you love yourself and put yourself first to a point where you are untouchable and unfuckwithable, you are a repellent to all things low vibrational. Those continents, they don't meet. Those vibrations, they don't meet. So when we talk about feminine energy, we're talking about the subconscious, right? What we can't see. Iceberg above, visible to land, right? That would be the conscious mind. That would be everything masculine, what you do see, right? How much space you're taking and whatnot. Where subconscious, the feminine energy would be what's under. Okay, maybe that's a bad analogy. I say this because it's what you don't see, right? And a lot of the times the subconscious is the root and the foundation for a lot of things, which means if you want to tap into your feminine energy and you want to remain in your feminine energy state, you have to reprogram your subconscious. But if you want to know more about feminine energy, I do have a goddess series on my channel. I can link it in the description. That way you can get more into understanding how different feminine energies play out, whether it's Oshun, Aphrodite, Yamoya. If you want to learn more about dark feminine energy, I do have a video on dark feminine energy, and I also have a new video on Lilith and Sekhmet, who embody more of that dark feminine energy, if that's something you want to learn more about. But that's not the purpose of this video. So divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy, it's confident in who she is. She takes up space. Her aura speaks for her. Your aura is always speaking way before you say any words, okay? Think about a woman who's confident. You notice her and she didn't say a single word. Her shoulders were back, her chin was up, and her head was held high. And no one can shake that and no one can take that from you. Let's go into setting boundaries. When it comes to setting boundaries, it involves honoring your own needs, your desires, your self-care, while also maintaining healthy relationships and interactions with really just anybody. So here's some tips on how to set boundaries with divine feminine energy. Number one, know yourself. You need to take the time to understand what divine feminine energy means to you and how you can apply it. You want to embody it in your life. And this means really sitting with yourself and understanding what your values are, what your beliefs are, and what your priorities are, and just in general. Not only learning how to cater to your own needs, but also understanding where you are right now in life. You have to understand where you are and where do you want to be. How much of a gap is there, right? And once you understand how much of a gap there is from being who you want to be and who you currently are, that's when you start looking at that gap and figuring out, okay, what is here in this gap that's preventing me from being the person that I want to be? What are the things in this gap preventing me from getting to my higher self, to the divine feminine version of me? How do you get there? What needs to change? Once you know those things, you'll be able to figure out and work backwards what priorities and what boundaries you need to set. You need to identify what you consider acceptable. Once you do that, what is acceptable? You have to understand your expectations with yourself and with others, what your preferences are, and just clear of your personal limits in general. To become the person that you want to be, you will miss out on things. But if you have people-pleasing tendencies, this is gonna be really hard for you to do, to step in, to even have a boundary. Because right now you're a mat. Oh, not even a welcome mat. You're that mat that's collecting mud in the backyard, okay? But the sooner that you realize it's okay to miss out on things, the sooner you realize that people will actually want to be around you more. Because at the end of the day, people prefer things that they can't get access to on a regular. If steak's your favorite meal and you ate steak every day, would it still be your favorite meal? Being consistent is a really big part of setting boundaries, because you have to consistently uphold this new standard that you're setting for your life. You have to constantly uphold these boundaries that you're setting for other people. You have to constantly let people know, no, this is no longer okay for me to participate, accept, acknowledge, whatever the situation may be. And you have to enforce your boundaries even when it gets uncomfortable. And remember, in moments like this, it's an act of self-love. Whether you realize it, whether you feel it at this point of your journey where you might feel guilt or shame or whatever people-pleasing emotions. But I promise you, through time, you'll start feeling that self-love and that empowerment from saying no. I love saying no. No. I say that because you'll be tempted to go back to your old ways. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like I'm hurting this person's feelings. You'll feel like, oh my God, even though I have no energy and this person asked me to go here because it's their second cousin's fiance's birthday, that I really should go because I care about this person. Therefore, I care about their second cousin fiance's birthday. You never even met the girl. You'll be tempted to go back to your old ways, and I promise you, the more you say no, the easier it'll be. To get there faster, start saying no to things that you really don't care about with your full chest. And that might help with the transition. Another thing about boundaries, just as you expect people to respect your boundaries, you have to also honor the boundaries of the people around you. And be mindful of other people's needs and preferences, okay? Like, don't lose that as well. Like, still have that conscious. What I mean by that is divine feminine energy is not going to nag somebody, right? You're not forcing yourself onto somebody else. You're not forcing an expectation onto somebody else, okay? But instead, you're giving other people the space and you're communicating. You're communicating your needs and you're acknowledging instead of nagging, because nagging comes from I've asked you 5 times and it's still not happening. Divine feminine would be I asked you, you're still doing it. I'm going to now have to change or leave this situation. The fuck I look like asking somebody something twice. Regardless, practicing healthy communication is key here. It's key with anything, with any relationship. And it's really key in this feminine journey because it's vocalizing how you feel, it's vocalizing your emotions, right? And feminine energy is emotion. You have to be able to embrace your vulnerability through expressing emotions. That way you can be heard. That's how change happens. People can't read your mind. People aren't going to know exactly what you're feeling and how you're thinking if you're not communicating your needs. That's wounded feminine energy. If you want me to do a video on that, I could. That would actually be a good video. Let me know in the comments. Up next under boundaries is trust your intuition. You have an inner wisdom. That is your instinct, your gut feeling, source, your heart, whatever you want to call it. Feminine energy is very intuitive. If something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't align, honor that feeling and set your boundaries accordingly. That's all I gotta say. And with that, reflecting and adjusting is really important with any journey, but along with this, whether it's a monthly, weekly, quarterly, reflect on your boundaries, reflect on the changes that you made, okay? This is where journaling comes in. I will always promote journaling, but reflecting on your boundaries and evaluating if they're serving you and adjust them as your needs change, as your situations change, your relationships change, you change. Don't get stuck in this is the formula because there's no formula. It's always going to constantly change. It's always going to be unique to whatever chapter and sub-chapter that you're in. Setting boundaries is so crucial because when you add the feminine energy aspect to it, you're creating supportive environments. And that's gonna not only benefit your own well-being, but also your growth. And this will also help create healthier relationships with other people. Okay. Just remember, self-love is an ongoing journey and it requires patience and dedication. Feminine energy is gentle, so be gentle with yourself. You deserve to be loved, to receive compassion just for who you are. Radiating divine feminine energy can only come within. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if this video resonated with you, what stood out, what I missed. I really appreciate you and thank you for taking the time to listen and make it to the end if you did. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not. Have a good night.